just say I was making it up, and my mom would always believe him or tell me to let it go. I guess she was afraid of Roger leaving, or she cared more about me than she did about him. The one thing about Mikey, the one thing Mikey didn't mess with was my army men set. I guess Mama told Roger how much it meant to me. He told Mikey to stay away from it, but that didn't stop him from talking about messing with it. He'd always threatened to destroy it when I wasn't looking. One day he got mad at me for something. Don't even remember what. And said he was going to beat me up when our parents weren't looking. I told my mom, but he just said he was just joking, and she believed him. But every time she and Roger left the room, he gave me a glare that told me he meant it. I started locking my room at night, but he told my mom I was causing trouble, and she made me keep it open. One night I was lying in bed and heard the door open. It was Mikey. He was staring at me murderously with his fist raised. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. Then, in slow motion, a noise like boots on dirt. John, standing, his rifle pointed at Mikey. Boom. Mikey on the ground, shocked. A gaping hole in his stomach. Silence. Mikey was never seen again after that. His body disappeared and was never found. I said I didn't know anything, and eventually people stopped asking me questions. But from that day forward, there was a new figure in the barracks, and John stood to watch, his gun permanently trained on it. I loved my grandfather, and my grandfather loves me. Wow, that actually had almost like a wholesome ending to it. Wasn't really too scary, I thought. Let's see. Let's try another one. Don't laugh on Old Mill Bridge. Alright. This one is by Serena_Timic. Okay. Don't laugh on Old Mill Bridge. It's one of the most used sayings in my little town. Sure, it sounds a little odd, but it's got a small town charm to it. For example, if one of the locals was to dare you to do something stupid or dangerous, you could respond with, I'd rather go laugh on Old Mill Bridge. Everybody around you would have a good chuckle. The thing of it is, no one ever mentions why. If you were to ask, you'd usually get one of two responses. Some variation of, I have no idea, or the other person's face draining chalk white in an admonishment to leave well enough alone. Tonight I'm gonna get an answer though. Oh boy. At around 1 in the morning, I climbed out my bedroom window and shimmied down to the nearby trails. Fortunately for me, Old Mill Bridge is only about a 20-minute walk from my house. How convenient. Stepping onto the bridge, everything was quiet like only an isolated town can be. Crickets chirping in the brush, the local nocturnal wildlife scrounging around for food, the soft, worn creak of old wood underneath my feet. I took a deep breath and gave a quick burst of crackly teenage laughter. Suddenly everything went quiet. The only sound being the echo of my laugh bouncing back at me. But my echo didn't stop. It kept going. And my eyes grew wide as a shady figure started to coalesce in front of me. Soon enough, I realized the figure was in front of me. Soon enough, I realized the figure in front of me was me. My doppelganger stood there laughing in echo to mine, growing redder and redder from the exertion. The laughter was slowly getting louder and louder, till the twin in front of me burst into fire. I could only stand there and let's see. A warning in the mirror. This looks interesting. Sure, why not? Let's do it. Sadie's reflection in the bathroom. Oh, this is also by Serena Timac. Okay, that's the same person. Let's see how this one looks. It's very, very shorter than the other ones, but let's see. Sadie's reflection in the bathroom mirror kept looking over her shoulder. It had been happening for a week now. At first, it didn't really register with Sadie. While brushing her teeth, it seemed like her eyes in the mirror randomly flicked sideways. Okay, that's kind of creepy. It was like a flicker of the TV during a lightning storm. So fast you could easily convince yourself it never happened. So she shrugged it off. But it kept happening. A couple of nights later, Sadie was washing her face before bed. After bending down to scrub the last of the soap off, so she looked at herself and found her eyes weren't looking back at her, but over her shoulder. Her mirror image's face crinkled slightly in worry. Shocked by the incongruity, Sadie flipped off the lights and dashed into bed. After a week of avoiding her mirror, Sadie managed to convince herself that it was all in her head. There was no possible way her reflection could look somewhere else independently of its creator. That's fair. It's defying the laws of physics. She shook her head, walked into her bathroom, and began her nightly routine. After rinsing her mouth, she looked again at her reflection and noticed a stark difference. Her mirror twin was looking directly over her shoulder with the starkest face of terror Sadie had ever seen. She whipped around to see what the mirror was warning her of. Nothing. All she could see was the doorway in her bedroom beyond, until she heard a cruel, crackling chuckle from behind her, and cold, glassy hands closing around her throat. That's the end of that one. That was definitely more creepy. That was more of what I was looking for. Let's do one more. These are quite fun to read through, actually. Oh boy. This one looks interesting. There's something in my trash can by Emo Exan. There's another short one. Let's see. This one should be good. My friend got me this new trash can the other day. He seemed super freaked out when he gave it to me. Soon after he did, he moved out of town. I put it in my living room, since that's where I needed it. I was playing Apex one night, and I heard a voice, "Feed me," but I thought it was just my team. But then I started playing on my own. I heard it again. "Feed me." I heard it. I got up to investigate. I saw my trash can say, "Feed me now," plain as day. I went over to it and opened it up, and I saw a tunnel of flesh and blood inside of it. The last thing I remembered was a pair of eyes and a bloody mouth slither from the inside. "You'll feed me as well," before its mouth stretched open. That was stupid. Some of these are definitely intended to be scary. Others, I don't know. I don't know how to describe